Friends, just imagine that because of a nuclear disaster, the entire world has been wiped out and there isn't a single human left alive. But on one island, only one boy and 6 girls have somehow survived, and now the responsibility of carrying humanity forward rests on the shoulders of this one boy and those 6 girls. In today's movie After Dark, we'll see something just like this. At the beginning of the movie, we see James and Petra. As Petra leaves for her class, she tells James not to fall asleep again, or he'll be late, and then she walks away. Maybe James was tired, so he falls asleep, and when he wakes up, he realizes he's already late for class. He rushes to class and arrives right at the last moment. They were all attending their philosophy class, and their professor was Jim. Today was the last class for all the students. Jim says that it's time to practically test everything they've learned this year. He says that they're all going to do a mind exercise to see what everyone has actually learned from their studies. The students start suggesting different situations. For example, if there are 5 people tied to one railway track and 1 person tied to another track, it's better to divert the train towards the 1 person, because it's better for 1 person to die than for 5 people to die. Another student says that the situation could also be that there is a very fat man standing in front of the train track. If you push him onto the track, the train will derail, saving all 5 people. One girl suggests a situation where she's about to fall from a building, and to save herself, she contacts her 3 friends. But none of them help her because if they try to save her, they themselves will fall from the building too. And as the girl falls down from the building, she survives and realizes that she can never trust these 3 friends. Other students also suggest similar situations, but Jim wants to discuss a completely different scenario. He says that an apocalypse has struck the Earth, with nuclear bombs being dropped everywhere. To survive, there is only one bunker where you have to spend a whole year, not just to stay alive, but for more than that. The survival of the human race will depend on these remaining people after 1 year, but the bunker only has the capacity for 10 people, and the problem is that, obviously, 21 people want to get into the bunker. But due to the lack of food and oxygen for a whole year, some people will have to sacrifice themselves. This entire exercise will take place within an imagination. Everyone will be in the classroom, but the scenes will be playing out in their minds. They will discuss and carry out this exercise together. But in the movie, this scene is shown as if it's real, but it's actually just their imagination. Now we know that there are only 21 people, but only 10 can stay in the bunker. Who gets to stay in the bunker and who has to sacrifice themselves will be decided by their profession. Jimette asks everyone to draw random chits from a box, each with a profession written on it. The person whose profession will be useful in the future is allowed to stay in the bunker, and the rest will have to stay outside. For example, James is a farmer who, after the apocalypse, can use his farming skills to grow crops and provide a food supply. Petra is a structural engineer, so she will also be very useful in the future, which is why it's important for her to survive. One guy's an electrician, so he can help with any electrical issues inside the bunker. But those who are fashion designers or real estate agents, anyone who belongs to a profession that's not that useful will be given lower priority to enter the bunker. One guy's profession is poet, so Jim immediately shoots and kills him. Jim says that since he won't be coming into the bunker with us, he'll end up dying a slow, painful death from nuclear radiation outside anyway. So it's better to just put him out of his misery now. Friends, let me remind you again that none of this is actually happening. It's just a classroom discussion being shown in these scenes. Now, everyone votes on who is eligible to go based on their profession and who isn't. Georgina is a doctor, so everyone votes for her. A boy named Chips is a carpenter, and he is eligible to go into the bunker. In the end, since Jim has the wild card, everyone votes in his favor, because who knows? He might have some secret information that those 10 people could need. Now we have all the people who will stay in the bunker for the next year, and those who will remain outside the bunker and be wiped out by the nuclear bomb. James says that before we go into the bunker, we should spend some time alone. He was just spending time with Petra when he heard the sound of gunshots, and he saw that Limit had shot and killed all those people who were supposed to stay outside. The rest of the people make a plan and get inside the bunker, closing the door before Jim can get there, because Jim was now seen as a threat to them. Now all these people spend quite a lot of time inside the bunker. One day, Petra goes outside and sees that Jim had been burned like this because of the nuclear radiation. He says that only he knows the exit codes for the bunker, and then he dies right there. When the rest of them find out about this, one of them was about to open it. But the others stop her, saying that if they open the door, everyone will die because of the radiation. They all think that maybe Jim was lying, so they don't open the door. After this, we see that days go by, months pass, and Jim's body continues to decompose over time. Finally, when a whole year passes, the Earth has recovered itself, but when everyone tries to get out of the bunker, it asks for the passcode, which means Jim was telling the truth. Now they're trapped inside, but they don't give up and try different ways to break open the door. They shoot at it, hit it with rods, but the door doesn't open. A few days later, some people take their own lives, and those who survive die because the oxygen runs out. After this, we return to the classroom scene again. Chips asks Jim why he was the only one who had the exit code. Jim explains that his profession was construction, and he was the one who built the bunker, which is why he knew the exit code. He says that now, if we do this one more time, everything will stay exactly the same. Nothing will change. But when everyone opens the card they have, there's another specification written on it. This will decide in the next round who gets to go into the bunker and who has to stay outside. For example, James's card says he's a farmer, but also that he's gay. But because he's a farmer, he's eligible to go inside the bunker. The card says that after some time she will suffer from a virus, which means she won't survive for long, so no one votes in her favor. Similarly, no one votes for a poet, an opera singer, or some artist type people either. In the same way, some people who were inside the bunker last time will now have to stay outside. Now, once again, they're in a similar situation where Jane cleverly keeps the gun with him in the bunker and shoots the poet again. The people split into two groups. On one side are those who will go inside the bunker, and on the other side are those who will have to stay outside. Georgina asks Jim for the car keys and tries to escape from there with the rest of the people, but all of them are killed by the nuclear explosion. Jim and everyone else had already entered the bunker. At night, Petra notices that James is not in his bed. When she goes looking for him, she sees that James is being intimate with a boy named Jack because he is gay. Petra tells everyone about this. Jim says that now everyone should choose their partners so they can have children. This is how the human species will continue. Everyone agrees to this. All the boys choose their partners, but Petra is left alone, so she is told to make Jim her partner. Petra also agrees and goes with Tim. James is shocked and tries to stop her, but he himself had also been intimate with someone else. Several days pass like this, with everyone being intimate with their partners, but no one has gotten pregnant yet. So Jim at 1 comes up with a rule that shocks and troubles everyone. He says that now every girl will be intimate with every other girl, so that at least someone gets pregnant. He says that saving the human species is our priority. Everyone is upset by this, because they are attached to their partners and don't want their partner to be intimate with someone else. Boney, who is a soldier in this situation, has a very sharp memory. She tells Jim that she won't be intimate with anyone else, and if he tries to force himself on her, she'll kill him. Mint takes this as an insult to his ego and, grabbing a gun, forces everyone out of the room. He points the gun at Boney, but Jack, who was hiding inside, fights with Jim, and during the fight, he injures Jim. After that, Jim comes and stands at the door outside. He sees that there's a fire outside the bunker. Explosions are going off. He swipes the pass and opens the door, which causes a sudden explosion, and everyone dies right there. Then we're back in the classroom. Everyone is exhausted because they haven't been able to successfully complete the exercise. Chips says that they should try again, that they can do better. Just then, James asks Jim why when he handed out the cards for the first time, he hesitated. James feels something is off, so he checks the box with the cards and discovers that Jim had tricked him and deliberately gave him the farmer and gay cards instead of the leader. Jim doesn't like James and wanted to prove that he's an idiot who doesn't understand anything at all. James tells everyone the truth about the situation and says that Jim cheated, so he wants to do one more round, but the other students refuse. Petra is the intelligent student of the class. She says that this time she wants to be in charge and decide who will stay inside the bunker and who will stay outside. All the students trust her, so they agree with her decision. We go back into a similar situation where this time everyone is on one island, where a nuclear attack was about to happen. Jimmy hides those guns again. We see that Petra goes to Jimmy and hugs him. This time, Petra sends the poet, the opera singer, the card-playing boy, all those who don't have any technical skills, inside the bunker. Jemet tells her that her decision is wrong, like when Petra wanted to keep the fashion designer inside the bunker, because the fashion designer understands clothing, and wearing the right clothes boosts self-esteem, which in turn affects civilization. She made a group of 10 people like this, which included James but not Jemet. Petra also excluded herself from the bunker. Jemet wanted to get inside the bunker, so he got angry and was about to pull out his gun, but Petra had already stolen it from him while hugging him. He was about to use that gun to shoot James, but James gives him an even harsher warning and tells him to leave. Jimmy says that they'll need the passcode, which only he knows, but Bonnie says she knows the passcode, because last time, when Jimmy entered it to let someone out, she saw it, and thanks to her sharp memory, she remembered it. Hearing this, Jemet leaves from there. After this, James tells Petra to come inside the bunker, but Petra refuses and says that there's an island a little distance from here. They can escape by boat. But Chips calls Petra over on the pretense of giving her the boat keys, lures her into the bunker, and then sacrifices himself by locking her inside and staying outside. Meanwhile, all these people set off in the boat. This time, Petra and the rest spend a really good time inside, because this time everyone there was an artist. They read plays, Point recites his poetry, and everyone is quite happy. In this way, the days pass by, and a whole year goes by. But when they come outside, they see that everything is just the same as before. The bomb never even fell on their island. Jim says that even after this, all of them will die soon, because none of them have any technical skills to build something to get out of there, nor will they be able to survive on this island for long. But Petra thought differently. She says that she didn't make her decision based on logic, but from her heart, thinking that as long as we're alive, we should at least spend that time happily. We'll even accept death with a smile. In the situation, we see that a bomb does fall near them. James was about to accept death and press the button, when Jimeth arrives there with a gun. His hair had grown long and he was still alive, but only had one bullet left. He was about to shoot James, but everyone steps in front of James to protect him and presses the bomb button, causing an explosion there. Meanwhile, Chief Posnate, describing the situation on the other side, says that they had reached another island by boat, after which the remaining boys died one way or another, and he was the only one left with 6 girls. He had the opportunity to be intimate with all of them for 11 days, and he would be intimate with the girls every day for 11 days, then rest on the 7th day. That's how he spent his time on that island. Hearing this, everyone started laughing. The class was now over, and even Jim was left speechless. Everyone submits their notebooks and walks off. Wait, the toast isn't over yet. We see that after everyone leaves, Petra comes to Jim, and here we find out that Petra was having an affair with Jim, which is why James is jealous of James, because Petra loves James. Petra kisses Jim one last time and then leaves. We see that Jim comes into his room where a gun was kept. We hear the sound of a gunshot. Actually, this too was just a situation imagined by Jim, and he sees a few more such situations, after which this mind-bending movie comes to an end. Let us know in the comments how you like this movie, and be sure to subscribe to our channel to watch more amazing explanations like this.